What a film. And Jean Renoir, who directed this movie, was certainly one of the great movie masters. His films including The Rules of the Game, The Golden Coach, and also several films he directed in Hollywood during the years of World War II, such as Swamp Water, This Land Is Mine, The Southerner, and Diary of a Chambermaid. And I'm with the man who chose Grand Illusion for us, this month's guest programmer, Greg Proops. Now, when did you first see this film? Do you remember that?
I don't. Probably on TCM, I'm guessing, 5-7 years ago. And I thought it was amazingly profound. The ending, it's such a tragic premise, and everything that happens in it is tragic, but the ending is such a great note. They're walking off into the unknown together,
right.
but it's so uplifting and hopeful.
Right.
And when he meets, the widow, he says he's going to come back to her, and you believe he will. It's
right.
not one of those movies where you believe it. Because when the Germans decide not to shoot them, that's almost the moment where you as an audience member are given leave to hope again, that this terrible thing is over and that we're all people again and we're not on sides.
I've always found it interesting that von Stroheim was able to have a career in Hollywood and in Europe, and Jean Gabin tried having a career in Hollywood and it didn't work. The American audiences didn't take to him, but certainly Europeans did.
No, he was huge in Europe always.
Yeah.
No, he came over here and made a bunch of pictures, and they always say he was difficult and everything over here, and that was part of the problem. Now, Renoir said in his diaries that von Stroheim, even though he's from Austria, didn't speak German fluently, and that he had to study like a schoolboy to get his lines. Yeah. Which is very interesting to me, that basically von Stroheim made up his entire character.
Right.
His father was a hat maker. He's not a count. And his name's not even von Stroheim.
Right.
He sort of made it all up and came to Hollywood.
Right.
And began working with D.W. Griffith as the dawn of film, so it's fantastic.
And a lot of people did in those days, make up their backgrounds, because Europe was far enough away. We didn't have the communication we do today, so they could get away with something like that and be a long time before they get caught.
Right, right.
Interesting, yeah.
I'm an expert and a dialogue coach and a military master and all that. And it was like, well, he'd been in the Army, but not with any distinction.
Yeah, no way to check that information. Well, it's so good to have you here.
Thanks.
So glad you're here picking these movies tonight.
I couldn't be more excited.
And I love the choices.
Thanks.
So moving on, don't go away. Greg and I are going to be back to introduce another film that he has picked for this month. It's the 1973 version of a great swashbuckling adventure. This movie directed by Richard Lester with an all-star cast.